Hey there, Canadian Insights fam. So Pierre Poilievre's Conservative caucus is bleeding members faster than a leaky faucet, and the Liberals are just one seat away from a majority government. One seat. That's not a slow political decline, that's a full-speed nosedive with the ejection seats malfunctioning. Buckle up, because we're diving into how the Conservative Party went from electoral contenders to a team imploding in real time, and why Pierre Poilievre might be the coach who's lost the locker room. Let's paint the picture. In just a matter of days, the Conservative Party lost 3 members from its parliamentary caucus. 3. Matt Jean-Roux decided early retirement sounded better than sticking around. Then Chrystia Freeland did the unthinkable and crossed the floor to the Liberals. And just when you thought it couldn't get more dramatic, Marc-Unionville MP Michael Marr followed suit and switched jerseys too. That's not a bad week. That's a catastrophic meltdown. And with Marr's defection, Mark Carney is now just one seat shy of a majority government. One seat away from 3 years of legislative control and the ability to govern without constantly looking over his shoulder. Meanwhile, Poilievre's over there watching his team disintegrate like a sandcastle at high tide. Here's the thing. When a coach loses control of the locker room, the team falls apart. It doesn't matter how good the playbook is, if the players don't trust the coach, they're not executing. And right now, Pierre Poilievre is looking like a coach whose players are openly shopping for new teams. Politics is the ultimate team sport, and Poilievre's squad is in full mutiny mode. Normally, partisans don't just abandon their own ship. Crossing the floor is one of the longest, most awkward walks in political life. It's like switching from the Leafs to the Habs. You don't do it lightly. So when 2 MPs make that walk in quick succession, that's not a coincidence. That's a signal. A big, flashing neon sign that says something is fundamentally broken. Let's talk about why this is happening, because it's not just bad luck or coincidence. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon says other Conservative MPs are extremely frustrated and open to switching sides. Extremely frustrated. That's political speak for they're miserable and looking for an exit. And you better believe the Liberals are taking full advantage. They're probably working the phones, sliding into DMs, offering disgruntled Conservatives a lifeline and a new team to join. It's smart politics, and it's working. When your opponent's house is on fire, you don't put it out. You hand out marshmallows. So what's driving this exodus? The answer is becoming increasingly clear. Deep doubts about the leadership of Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre lost the April election. He lost his own seat in Carleton, which is about as embarrassing as it gets for a party leader. And now he's losing the confidence of his own MPs. That's a trifecta of failure. Politicians are basically salesmen of hope. Their job is to convince people that things can get better, that their vision is worth following. And right now, Poilievre isn't making the sale. Not to voters, and apparently not even to his own caucus. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what losing control of a caucus actually means. In politics, your caucus is everything. They're the people who show up to question period, who defend you in the media, who knock on doors during elections. If they don't believe in you, your leadership is over. It doesn't matter what the polls say or how good your attack lines are. A leader without caucus support is a leader in name only. And when MPs start jumping ship, it sends a message to everyone else in the party that maybe it's time to start looking for the lifeboats too. It's a snowball effect. One defection makes the next one easier, and before you know it, you've got a full-blown crisis. Now, it's not just Poilievre's shaky leadership that's causing problems. Let's give credit where it's due. Prime Minister Mark Carney is playing this brilliantly. He's been described as having a steady and practical approach to governing, which, let's be honest, is refreshing after years of political chaos. Carney's attracting support from Conservatives because he's not ideologically rigid. He's pragmatic. And here's the kicker, he's adopted key Conservative policies. The biggest one? Spiking the consumer carbon tax. That was a core Conservative talking point, and Carney just took it off the table. He neutralized one of Poilievre's biggest weapons by doing what Poilievre said he'd do. It's political judo, and it's working. Think about it from a Conservative MP's perspective. You've spent years railing against the carbon tax. It's been your bread and butter. And then the Liberal Prime Minister kills it. Suddenly, what are you fighting for? What's the rallying cry? Poilievre's losing his contrast with the government because Carney's shrinking the gap. And when you combine that with doubts about Poilievre's leadership, it's not hard to see why some MPs might be thinking, you know what, maybe the grass really is greener on the other side. Let's talk consequences, because this isn't just about hurt feelings and political drama. If the Liberals pick up one more seat and secure a majority, that changes everything. A majority government means legislative control. It means passing bills without relying on opposition support. It means 3 years of clear sailing. For Carney, it's the golden ticket. For Poilievre, it's a nightmare. The Conservatives would be consigned to token opposition status, meaning they'd be loud but ultimately powerless. They could hold press conferences, they could ask tough questions in question period, but at the end of the day, the government's getting its agenda through. And nothing kills political momentum like irrelevance. Here's where it gets even worse for Poilievre. The bleeding probably isn't stopping. Makinen's comments about other frustrated Conservative MPs suggest there are more defections potentially in the pipeline. And every time another MP crosses the floor, it reinforces the narrative that Poilievre can't lead. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more people leave, the weaker he looks. The weaker he looks, the more people consider leaving. It's a death spiral, and Poilievre's got to find a way to pull out of it fast or his leadership is done. What's fascinating here is how quickly things have turned. Just months ago, Poilievre was the opposition leader with momentum, attacking Trudeau's government at every turn. Now Trudeau's gone, Carney's in, and suddenly Poilievre's the one on the defensive. Losing the election was bad. Losing his own seat was worse. But losing his caucus? That's terminal. Because in politics, you can recover from electoral losses. You can come back from personal defeats. But if your own team doesn't want to play for you anymore, you're finished. The clock is ticking for Poilievre. He's got to stop the defections, rebuild trust with his caucus, and find a way to differentiate himself from a Liberal government that's stolen his best ideas. That's a tall order, and right now, it doesn't look like he's up to the task. Meanwhile, Carney's sitting pretty, 1 seat away from a majority, watching the Conservatives tear themselves apart without having to lift a finger. So here's the bottom line. Drip by drip, defection by defection, Poilievre is handing the Liberals a majority. Whether it's leadership failures, strategic missteps, or just bad luck, the result is the same. The Conservatives are in crisis, and the Liberals are poised to capitalize. If you're a Conservative supporter, this has got to be painful to watch. And if you're a Liberal, you're probably enjoying every second of this slow-motion train wreck. Alright, Canada, that's the story. The Conservatives are bleeding, Poilievre's losing control, and Carney's 1 seat away from total dominance. Do you think Poilievre can turn this around, or is his leadership already over? And is Carney's majority inevitable at this point? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to hear what you think. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button, because Canadian Insights is dropping multiple videos today and you don't want to miss the action. Catch you in the next one.